Hey, what's going on YouTube? My name's Matt. We're back with another Borderlands topic, and today we're going to be discussing Maya versus Lilith. Who is the stronger Siren? So before we get into the discussion, let's just lay a few things out on the table here. I will be referencing Lilith in two forms, one being her playable form in Borderlands 1 and 2 being her from Borderlands 2. And the reason for this is because in the first game, she's pretty strong, right? We know that. But in the second game, she gets hopped up on Iridium and basically becomes a fucking monster. So, you know, to leave it as Lilith, like Lilith in Borderlands 1, Lilith in Borderlands 2, are two different, beasts. Another thing, Maya doesn't appear to have the same reaction to Iridium, and I'm going to say yet, because as of right now, we don't know. And we know that she doesn't currently because of what Angel said in an echo that can be found at the Wildlife Exploitation Preserve. And she basically tells Jack, like, look, I found this Vault Hunter and she's a Siren, but it doesn't appear that she has any connection to Iridium. And Jack cuts her off and is like, I need to know everything now. Let's find out what's going on. But many people like to state that Maya is very new to Pandora and very new to being exposed to Iridium, so maybe it hasn't manifested in her yet. Also, Tannis mentions that there should be a connection between Sirens, Iridium, and the Guardians, and it's important to, point out that Iridium can cause negative side effects. If you look at Angel, as soon as the Iridium pumps are disconnected, she's dead, and obviously there's some addictive qualities of this stuff, because if we're looking at Lilith, she's becoming insanely strong, but the screws are coming loose and she's kind of becoming an Iridium addict by, the end of Borderlands 2. Also, most of us have probably seen how nutty she gets at the end of the pre-sequel, where she's trying to literally execute Athena firing squad style. So we're going to start off with Lilith from Borderlands 1, and if she's built into Phoenix with the Hellfire, the Firehawk, and the Firefly, she becomes a fiery destroyer of worlds, and also when you're at max level, she can phase walk and almost essentially be invincible. If you're using Blackout, Inner Glow, and Hard to Get, your phase walk comes back so fast and you heal so much that it's ridiculous. And on top of that, she could also regen her shield in her phase walk too. So many people, consider this a defensive skill because, oh no, I'm being attacked by a ton of mobs, or I'm going up, against a raid boss or something, and I'm super dangerously close to death. I hit my phase walk. Everything's regenning, everything's going nuts, and by the time I'm done with it, I'm ready to go again. So if you haven't played Borderlands 1, think of it like this. You're playing Krieg, and you go down, you've got the light the fuse skill, so you're running around with your dynamite, except that now heals you, regens your shield, and also damages enemies. That's insane. You're looking at a character that can essentially possess a get-out-of-jail-free card. That's crazy, and that's all before she became an Iridium junkie, and we've seen how powerful she gets when she starts using Iridium. Also, depending on what you're running and how, much is going on, her cooldown on her phase walk could be like 4 to 5 seconds, which is very unbalanced. I also want to point out that using the Double Anarchy SMG with the Merc mod, which regens SMG ammo, was a huge draw for Lilith too, which is something that at least needs to be noted. Feel how you want to feel about it. It's overpowered, it's broken, this, that, and the other thing. That was a big draw for Lilith players, and if you were able to get that stuff, you became really, really strong. Now, I don't think the Merc mod is totally necessary for, say, the Hellfire, but, the Double Anarchy goes through ammo insanely fast, so I would go as far to say as Double Anarchy plus Merc mod are pretty much hand in hand if you're planning on having ammo. Now, depending on where you're fighting, like if you're fighting a super strong boss, you might run out of ammo. If you're, just fighting mobs and stuff and you can go to the vending machines and things, that's a whole nother thing. Let's move on to Maya. Now, Maya's abilities are much more offensive and supportive in nature, being that she can, phase lock somebody and it brings in all the other enemies and you can kind of focus fire them down. She also can heal herself and teammates, which is really useful. And the res skill, which, if you're trying to beat a boss and you're struggling, that skill is extremely important because a lot of times you don't have time to run over to your friend that you're playing with and resurrect them. Instead, you can just phase lock them and boom, they're back into the fight. Everything's good to go. Bam, bam, let's keep going. And I want to talk about the difference between phase walk and phase lock. With phase walk, it benefits the Lilith player more. That's not to say that it doesn't help the other teammates, because phase walking still damages enemies and, that can soften them up so your buddies can finish them off. But with phase locking, you can pull in everybody in close. You can focus down and phase lock a tough enemy. Everybody can focus fire. And phase lock can also heal and resurrect, which I think is much more beneficial to a team-based, kind of experience. I'd be stupid if I didn't bring up the discussion about the story. Now, we know the original 4 Vault Hunters weren't able to defeat Wilhelm, and they were having trouble with Handsome Jack, and they definitely had no hope of beating the Warrior either. So if you go by that logic, the newest Vault Hunters would be stronger. So if OP Lilith couldn't take them on and Maya and Co. could, then that means Maya is stronger based on the story, correct? But by the same logic, if you look at Borderlands 2 Lilith in the same way, based on strictly the story, you have a character that was phasing entire cities away from danger and finished charging the vault key much faster. She was also referenced by Jack as the most powerful Siren. Now, I want to point out that he only knew certain other ones in existence, not all of them. So it's quite possible that there's a Siren out there that shits on Maya and Lilith combined. We don't know this, but I think it's safe to say that Lilith on Iridium is something that you just don't want to mess with. She is insanely strong. So at the end of the day, I think the order is dependent on the discussion. You kind of tailor it to what's going on. If you're speaking about story canon, then I would lean towards Maya because Maya was able to take down Jack. Maya was able to take down the Warrior. Maya was able to take down Wilhelm, which the original 4 Vault Hunters were not. But if you're talking about gameplay, then I would say Lilith all the way, because she was unbalanced and insanely powerful. She was a walking explosion and, she just ripped through anything. You could watch people on YouTube play the game and just breeze through it. I have a level 69 Lilith, and if I get bored and I just want to run around, maybe go back and play through a DLC or something, I can just kick back and not really think because she's so insanely strong. So I think gameplay wise, you pretty much have to give the nod to Lilith. Now, there's no playable characters in any of the games that are weak. They're all pretty strong in their own respective way, and they all cater to different playstyles, which I think is a huge strength for the Borderlands series. Also, if Maya spends more time around Iridium and it turns out that Iridium does enhance her powers like Lilith, then I think we have a much different discussion on our hands than we do right now. Personally, I had more fun playing Maya, but I think Lilith needs to take the cake as the stronger Siren. Alright guys, so that was my little discussion on Maya versus Lilith and who I think is the stronger Siren. And as always, if you like this sort of thing, you're into Borderlands, consider leaving a like, a comment, and subscribing for more. I do a history of Borderlands series that goes over each character and lore and things like that. And we're also going to discuss Borderlands 3 news and anything that we pretty much can talk about regarding that. So thanks for watching, guys. Later.